tell my students that, like, choose the key terms for life. Choose the key terms that command and spell the life that you want.
Yeah, it has to be. And I tell them a dream isn't what make other people happy. It's what makes you happy. And your dream's not supposed to make everybody in the room feel good. And if you hang out with people that don't have dreams, again, all they're going to do is distract you.
Yeah, dreams are the way men get pregnant. Pause. But it's a mental wound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you kind of lost me with this.
I know. He's always got. I got to give you directions. Then we hit a U-turn. but it's real life though, because you know I was always taught, even in the nation, it's like, you know, a man's mind, a man is his mind, and your mind is his own womb. You know what I'm saying? But you pull from the universe. You feel me? Like when you have a mind that's fertile, that's when you have a lot of ideas, right? It's the same thing with the body, right? Otherwise, you see a lot of men, sometimes they don't have no ideas. They can't think. You ain't got no ideas. You never pregnant with no thoughts. You ain't got nothing to protect or nothing to give birth to.
It's filled up with negative thought. That's why.
Well, yeah, and they give birth to negative realities.
Your dreams get suppressed by the visuals that they want you to see.
And black Americans, I'm just speaking on black Americans specifically, is a womb for things to give birth to. So when they fill our minds up with whatever they want the future to be, because our mind's so powerful that we assist in creating reality. So it's like when we only see negative programming, we can only have that reality. That's why I always talk about like aspirational, you know, creating aspirational things, not just reflective things. If you reflect negative shit that you see, like in music, then yeah, you gonna relate to it, but that's also all you gonna create. But if you create aspirational, what you want to see in your environment, now you feeding people to create a whole different reality for the future. They go act in that way, get educated on ways to bring it out. This is how white patriarchal intellect like evolve things. You start off with an idea, program that into a generation. They go to school, they build out the idea, then it becomes reality. What are we programmed when we young? Not what futurists in our community have as an idea for our future. Right? It's either the negative ills of what white men have in their textbooks that we teach, you know what I mean, or what they put in the movies that becomes normal that they impression our minds with. So my whole thing is always aspirational. You ain't got to understand what I'm going to do. It got to be aspirational. That's like the protocol for, I believe, anybody that is in a position of creating media and music and content. You have to have aspirational, you know, protocols in there to where a certain percentage of it has to reflect the future you want to see and not just the negatives and the reality that we used to see. That's why I like sci-fi. How you said you like rock and roll? Yeah. I like sci-fi when I was a young because I didn't always want to see movies that were just about the same shit when I walk outside and see. I wanted to see something that was like, you know, impression in my imagination. You know what I'm saying? Like black imagination. Like when we talk about dreams, we literally talking about the things that we think of, the ideas that stir around and like our interests that we have outside of what we sold. That's like, if I look at the world, what do we want the world to look like? We don't even get to dream that kind of big. The way we want buildings to be made, the way we want hospitals to be made, the way we want schools to be made. Like, we got to live life to play in your imagination.
We have to be able to know that we can make it happen. Shit, like you have to have a blueprint.
I know you're a god in order to do that.
The hardest work is free. Just make it up and write it down.
Exactly.
And take a screenshot of it.
And talk.
And believe.
You got to talk it out with your crew all day. Some people just don't want to talk it out. You know, it's crazy. You got to plan a hit. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to get killed. You want to make sure every single detail is right. You know, and
think of the things you can't think.